Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Mountain Harmony Gardening. I'm Kristen, and this is Lola, and today is the last installment of our four-part series. Today, we are going to be talking about the rest of the yard and garden. So the first place we're going to start is in the herb bed. So you have to follow me over here. Okay, so this part of the garden has our apple tree and then a couple of decorative plants below it. But down here is the perennialized herb bed. So like here's the new sage, which definitely got nipped after the freeze that we had. We've got our sage, our regular sage, and our lavender and our oregano and our thyme down there. This area I'm not going to be changing at all next year because I think I've already got enough plants in here that I don't think I could really squeeze any more. They're already starting to overflow. But where I was just sitting with Lola is going to be a huge change. So this little kind of empty area over here and my poor Lucifer plant and the other plants that just aren't doing well over here, we're going to put in a pond. I know I talked about it last year, but for sure next year we are putting in a pond. It's not going to be a big one. It's just going to take up kind of this area over here, and I don't want to get too close to the dwarf weeping crabapple, but I do want to take up this whole area because like I've talked about before, the soil's bad here. We found all that trash in it and so on and so forth. So we're going to do probably like a little rock sculpture on that side and have the water trickle down into the pond and then have it recirculating. We've never done a pond before, so Donnie and I will both have to learn, and you guys can learn along with us how to put in a pond. It shouldn't be too terribly hard. And then the front of the garden over here, I think that like I have a muggo pine over here, and I'm going to move that probably to where it's in a little bit more sunshine. But the rest of the plants do pretty good on this side. I have like some irises and like there's a balloon flower there and some decorative grasses, but those all do pretty good. And I think I'm going to leave them. I might add in a few hostas because the hostas will like the shade. The other big change that we're going to make is here in the middle. And Sebastian has pretty well gotten too big for his playset. But we have taken really good care of the playset, and we've restained it, and we're probably going to restain it first thing in the spring. And then we're actually going to sell this because Sebastian is too big for a playset. I mean, he's way outgrown it. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a pergola out here, a big pergola out here. So this part over here will probably have like a swing on a single swing for Sebastian because he does have autism. So he needs to get out the extra energy and be able to come out here and have that outlet for him. And if he could swing on it, Donnie and I could swing on it too. So it'll be like an adult swing. It'll be great because I like to swing too. So that whole area here will be that. And then over here, in this area, will be like a sitting area, and we're going to do like a full pergola on there. I haven't done any drawings or anything yet. Donnie and I are still figuring out exactly what we want to do, but probably put like a seating area and then one of those gas like fireplaces, because I don't want a real one because of course right above us, if you look up, are the ash trees. And those leaves and branches hang down pretty low during the summertime, and I do not want to catch anything on fire. So a little gas one would be nice, and then putting some planters in the corners to make it look really decorative, and maybe even grow some plants up on top of it and maybe have it kind of cover the top of it. We'll see. Maybe we could try some grapes. I've been wanting to really try some grapes. Now behind Sebastian's playset is the area that we updated last year. Trellis is working fantastic. Absolutely love it. And then if you come over here, you can see that we've kind of moved a few things around. So there is my decorative kind of planter that's a little sad. We're going to completely redo this next year, and it will be up on the deck. And I found that the basil does the best in here. Out of all the flowers and everything else we had, that does the best. So this area isn't going to change much, other than I might add a few more plants in this area. Maybe I want to find something that will grow a little bit taller along the back, and I might even have to grow something up the fence. Just try to get some height over here instead of everything just being ground covers. So, and this, of course, will go back up on the deck too at some point. And where all the cleavers are at, and we got some of our hollyhocks are still in here and all this decoration. I don't think we're going to change much. We found out the hibiscus does really well and the root weevils do not eat it. So we will be putting in some more of these next year for sure. And they did, oh, they were so pretty. You'll have to go back and check out the other videos if you haven't seen it. Another thing that I'm thinking about is, this is our dogwood and the root weevils. Let me pick a leaf and see if we can get a close-up shot. This camera's not real great at doing close-ups, but if you look at the edges of the leaves, that's all root weevil damage. And I'm thinking I might take this out next year. It did great at the beginning of the spring, but by the end, it just didn't look good. And you can see this is our double flowering almond. I really don't want to take this out. But if you look at that leaf too, looks like it's got crinkle cut all over it, root weevils. So I haven't decided exactly what we're gonna do with this area yet. And there's the barberry that, yeah. I mean, it did start to grow new leaves down here. We'll see if it comes back. We've also talked about taking it out completely, since this is like, I don't know, Donnie, was it our 4th bush that we've put there?
The 4th, I think.
Yeah, he thinks it's a 4th too. We're thinking about putting another big decorative rock up here instead. If we can't grow anything in this soil right here, put a rock in it. I've got plenty of rocks all over the garden. And so like this barberry got eaten just a little bit, but since this one is so much more mature than the other ones, it wasn't as devastated. So this area will probably stay the same. But one other thing I just thought of. We are going to probably over here, this is where the rock would come from. We're going to take this rock out and we're going to put in, like we have a ton of these bricks behind the house. And we're going to pave this, you know, make like a little patio, and we're going to put Granny's bench here so that we can sit at the front of the garden and we can like kind of make this a little seating area. And I think it would be like really, really nice so that Granny's bench has a home, a level home, so it's not like tilted down the hill. Let's see, what else or changes are we going to make? Up here, I think I just want to put in a couple more hostas next year, because I do have kind of like a blank area right here. And I know that the grape hyacinths are spreading out, and that's great, but they haven't quite gotten over here yet. So I'm thinking I want to put in a few more hostas. And I've talked about doing like a raised kind of walkway where the stones are at. And I'm thinking maybe next year we'll do that. I don't know. That's like a doesn't need to be done type of thing. The playset, that has to be done. As far as the deck goes, we are probably going to have to take the deck apart, because when we did this, we originally were going to do this deck out of wood instead of the Trex decking that we have. And the Trex decking needs the joists to be closer together or else it bows like it's done here. We changed it when we did that one because we realized that we were going to be putting the Trex on that. So we're going to have to tear the deck all apart because all the fasteners are hidden down here. It's not like we can just take up a couple and fix this. We're going to have to take the whole thing apart and put in some extra support next year. And then we're probably going to have to redo the steps too. We'll see. But I just want to make this so it doesn't do this. So we learned a lesson, put in more joists. But I think that's pretty much it. Can you think of anything, Donnie?
I can't think of anything else.
He's shaking his head. So I think that pretty much concludes our 4-part tour that we did. So we talked about behind the house. We talked about the long bed with the pumpkins at the end. And we talked about where the greenhouse used to be and then kind of the rest of the yard. There are some big changes coming to more of the lower yard than the garden itself, but that's okay. And we're still going to add some garden elements to it. And then you'll get to come along on the journey and see us build a big trellis, not just our little ones for the raspberries and stuff, or a big pergola, I should say. But I'm really excited for next year, and I've got a game plan, and hopefully we will get a lot of this done next year. So some really cool changes. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope this inspired you to make your own garden vlog for yourself, or write it down, however you would like to do it, so that you know the changes that you want to make next year. So please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Happy gardening, everyone.